Hello and welcome to Mad Goes Racing, and today we're in rFactor2 having a look at the DLC that's just recently dropped as part of the, as you can see down the middle there, Q2 2023 update. Now, the car in question that has been introduced is the Formula E Gen 3. That's probably made my face go really bright in the down the bottom there, isn't it? This is their new car. They're all saying how wonderful it is, so we'll find out. There's also been an update to the historic cars, so I'll have to have a look at that sometime. I haven't actually spent that much time on it. There is a user guide. You can have a look. It's on the April 13th in the news. If when you look at this, it's disappeared from the in-game bit. Required controls, you have to add the increment and decrement electric motor map. They have now got 4 mappings for the motor, so you can adjust how much power output you get without using just your foot. Isn't that amazing, eh? I always thought it was the way to do it was use your foot and put it down harder. Obviously, the thing about electric cars is you have to get to the end of the race with however much battery you start off with. So you can actually alter how much battery you start with, because you can actually set how big your battery is from 35 kilowatt hours up to 41 kilowatt hours. I'll show you that in a minute. But you have to be able to read what your dashboard's telling you, and there's this in here, in this how I interpret it, that tells you all the things you need to know. The most important thing to remember is it's, like I said, 4 engine modes: 100 kilowatts, 250 kilowatts, 300 kilowatts, and 350 kilowatts, which works out at 133 brake horsepower, or thereabouts, for the 100 kilowatts. That's meant to be for your safety car periods. And then 250 kilowatts, I had to write these down, which is roughly 335 horsepower. 300 kilowatts, 402 horsepower, and 350, which is 470, give or take. Apparently the normal mode is the 300 kilowatt, and 350 is the one that's automatically used for attack mode. Well, I'm assuming it works because I haven't actually tried on a circuit with the attack mode on it, so I can't tell you for definite. I did try it around the Monaco track, but I don't think Monaco's actually got any attack mode bits because it's an older track and no longer in use, I don't think. So I may at some point do that. I have actually got a button set to do attack mode, but it didn't seem to do anything. So the rest of it, this is how much battery you've got left, and it'll give you a readout here of what percentage you got left, or you can set it to how many kilowatts you got left, just whatever. This is your mode, obviously, with 0 through 3. I don't know whether they did something silly here, because you'd have thought mode 1 would be 100 kilowatts, mode 2, but it starts off at mode 0, so whether there's been a bit of a programming cock up there, I don't know. Also, it says like 2 for regen. I can't work out how you actually change that. There's a button assignment to change the regen mode, but it doesn't actually allow you to change it. It just is not supported, so I have no idea. Brake bias, which is the bit up the top here. Your brake bias is because you only have brakes on the front. The rear end is done by the energy recovery, so you can cover quite a lot on full braking. I think it's up to 250 kilowatts or something. And even from 1% braking, you're recovering about 20 kilowatts or something along those lines. So it's all in this document here, but it gives you all the information: brake temperature. This is your how much battery you used on your previous lap, and this is your target. Presumably that's what you need to manage to do to actually finish the race. Gear, only got 1 gear anyway, so first, neutral or reverse. Tyre temperatures, as I said, brake temperatures, front only. Then lap times, and I think that's your current lap. That's your best lap or something, isn't it? The purple bit. Oh, that's your lap time delta. So that's current lap time, that's lap time delta. So it's all reasonably simple. And there are these three little lights here, either end of your rev bar. They seem to show things like flags. So if you stop, it should turn yellow if you happen to be on track. It also shows you when you've got wheel spin. They seem to turn purple. And the lights on here on your rev display here, they can actually turn blue to tell you you're locking your wheels up, which is quite important because it's very bloody easy to lock your wheels up, as you'll probably see because I'll probably cock it up. But right, let's have a look at the car. You can change the halo visibility. I'm going to leave it on anyway. Battery capacity, as I said, you can change that from a default and then go from 35 all the way up to 41 kilowatt hours. So it gives you a bit more room to play, and you can enable or disable attack mode. I think that's something to do with you disable it when you're running against the AI. Presumably the AI disabled for racing against AI. There you go. Apparently, presumably the AI don't know how to use the damn thing. So fair enough. Right, let's see if we can. I do it every bloody time and go the wrong way. It's a really nicely modelled car. Loads and loads of detail. It is also, I have to say, one of the weirdest looking cars I think I've seen for a long time. It's got the, is it F15 that's got the twin planes at a funny angle at the back? Odd wing end plates on the front, effectively a double wing. What these ducts in here are for, I don't know. I assume it's sending some cooling air to the motor or something, or the batteries. And again, air intake there, presumably that's doing something useful. Almost looks like there's a little like a cap on the back there. Weird. But yeah, really nicely modelled car. It's an interesting looking, it's quite pretty. It seems to remind me a bit of a speedboat for some reason, I don't know why. No idea. But yeah, treaded tyres, again, I presume they're using more or less the same tyres they were in a previous gen car. I do find they're a little bit slippery, but we'll see how it goes. And I'm assuming up here is a camera. It's not what it looks like, it's what it goes like, that counts. Now, I think I didn't mean to do that. I meant to get my brain in gear. I'm going to actually go to Silverstone National. Like I said, I have tried it on the Monaco Formula E track, which is actually quite stop going. Got some really tight hairpins and only a couple of reasonably fast corners, which is like through the swimming pool section. But I thought we'll try something a little different. We'll go to Silverstone. Yeah, I know. But we're actually using the National rather than the other circuit. I've set it up so it should have reasonable amount of, did I set the medium? I thought I set it to heavy, but keeps changing whether or not it's bloody scripted. Set it to heavy. Give us a bit more. What's the weather like? Why does it keep changing what the bloody temperature is as well? I'll set it to 20 degrees. Not too windy. See how that goes. It's got two choices. I don't know if you can actually hear my computer thrashing the hard drive. I'm actually doing a defrag on my hard disk whilst this thing's going. I stuck a new drive in there the other day and an SSD and transferred a load of stuff over from my hard drive to the SSD, and I thought, oh, I know what, I'll defrag my hard drive. It's taking bloody hours. Right, in terms of setup, fairly limited on what you change. Like I said, the electric motor mount, for some reason it's defaulting to 350 kilowatts, whereas it says the normal driving it should be on the 300 kilowatts. So I'll leave it on 350, but I will adjust it on the wheel. You have a choice of two first gears, normal and the speed run. The speed run, yep, that does say 212, as in potentially 212 miles an hour, because this thing can apparently do 200 plus. So yeah, 470 brake horsepower will give you quite a good top speed if you've got a reasonably low drag vehicle, which I'm assuming this is. Certainly not got a lot of excess winglets or anything daft on it. Reverse gear, 2 options. Why you got 2 choices of reverse gear, I don't know. Differential, I haven't actually tried playing with the diff, so that might or might not have a lot of effect on you. Yeah, usual tyre pressure, camber, brake bias. I'm not sure which way that is, whether that's 56% front, 44 rear, or the other way round. But like I said, it's only got front brakes anyway, so the rear is all done on regen, which is why brake disc wear 0 centimetre on the rear. Why they haven't greyed that, I don't know, but whatever. Usual selection, spring rate, packers, ride height, etc. Tow and anti-roll. Where is it? Oh yeah, aerodynamics. You cannot adjust the aero, so you're stuck with whatever that is. High and low speed damping. Usual selection of caster. Weight distribution, lateral. Why you can adjust lateral, I don't know. Thought you only really needed that around ovals, but whatever. So right, that's what it's got in it. So let's drive it. Let's see what it sounds like. Brum, brum, brum. Yeah, I am pressing the throttle, but nothing's happening. So until you actually stick it in gear, it does absolutely nothing. Now, I did say I was going to turn it down, so we'll go down to... Wrong button. Come on. Why doesn't that do anything? Oh, it's because you're adjusting the brake bias. Longer! Right. Speed limiter off. I forgot which side I've got set to do what there. Which is silly because I always have that as my brake bias. Right. As always with electric vehicles, my main issue with it is trying to work out how much to slow down for a corner, because I come up to a corner, I brake, and then I go, I haven't changed down, I've got no idea what this whine is supposed to indicate, if anything, and they're so damn quiet, relatively speaking, that it's very difficult to work out. And I keep wanting to change gear. It's very difficult to work out whether or not you've sort of slowed down enough, so everything's sort of visual. Bit of rotation from the car there. It does rotate a lot if you're not careful. Ooh, it's got a hell of a lot of input required on the steering to actually get where you want to go. We should probably demonstrate the little extra lights on the steering wheel, shouldn't I? So I'll see if I can persuade someone to light up by slow down. If you watch the 2 little groups that are now turned yellow, so when you're getting wheel spin they turn purple, and then if you lock the brakes up you should get blue on those, on the ends of your rev bar. So I'll probably flat spot on my bloody tyres now as well, haven't I? But it is quite a tricky car to get to grips with because of all the aforementioned lack of gears. So you go, like if you were coming in here in a normal car, you'd get to your braking point, you'd hit your brakes, you'd slam it down 3 gears maybe, and have your engine in a sort of a sound range and drive it by ear. You can't really do that in these electric cars. You can't drive them by ear. You have to drive them by sort of sight and try and do lots of laps. Because I find if I don't do lots of laps on these things, I'm absolutely bloody awful and I have no consistency. Because you're trying to brake exactly the same amount into each corner each time from the same point, and if you get it wrong, it's tends to overshoot the corners a bit. So and you really do want to, I'd like to wind the sound up on the tyres, but with their new sound system you don't have a separate bloody control over your tyre sound, so you have to have whatever they give you. I mean, the car's quick, I'll give it that. I mean, I don't know what sort of lap times I'm doing, 54 seconds, 53. I actually did a full Silverstone, and in its lowest sort of what's meant to be a safety car mode, so 100 kilowatts, it was doing 2-minute 10s, and I got down to 158 using the sort of highest engine motor map. So it varies between sort of GT4 at its lowest performance through to GT3ish at its highest. I mean, it's not a bad car. You do have to be smooth and precise with it. I find if you try and sort of be a bit abrupt with it, it does tend to bite quite easily, so you have to be smooth with the throttle, smooth with your brakes. Dead easy to lock the brakes up, and especially the back end. I'll try and demonstrate. And typical, it didn't bloody do it. But I found, ooh, and also don't get too heavy-handed on the throttle. Quite easy to spin it as well. If you've got too much lateral load, especially the back end, is very easy to get the step out. And it's even worse at full fat mode. And it tends to be slightly slower corners, but it can lose it quite easily out of faster corners as well, so. So definitely a car that is quite tricky to get a handle on. I'm surprised I haven't spun coming out of here yet. Again, you can see it trying to get away. You could probably soften the back of the car up a bit maybe, and get a bit more stick from the back end. Now, should we try it on the full fat mode? I doubt it'll make a lot of difference, other than the fact it'll make it easy for me to kill myself. Nah, we lost time, but we are gaining time down a straight quite handsomely here because of the extra oomph, so. Bugger. No, that wasn't any quicker, but just a quick, this is what it's like in the lowest mode. You listen to it and it's like, We'll get there eventually. We'll get there eventually. So I'm assuming that's your sort of get your home mode if you've used, whoops, far too much power. What happened there? Duh. So yeah, I mean it's a reasonable car to drive. It's not the worst thing I've ever driven by a long shot. It's certainly got plenty of potential to make for some interesting racing. It's quite narrow. I think that's part of its issue in terms of trying to get it to load up. Whether it just needs softening up a bit on the back end to make it a bit, or whether it needs a bit more camber maybe, I don't know. I'm no setup expert, as you will recall from me saying it every bloody time I mention anything. But it's, what was it, £4.50 I think it was. Or if you haven't got any of the Formula E stuff, you can actually buy a full Formula E pack now, which is 25 quid? I'll double check, I'll try and remember to put this is how much it is. And that will get you all 3 gens of Formula E car, plus all the Formula E tracks as well. I'm assuming they're still including Monaco in that, because I think Monaco is no longer a Formula E track as such. But yeah, as an overall package, I mean, I can't see myself doing a lot with this, but at some point I'm sure somebody will come up and go, fancy racing it, and I'll go, yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'll race anything once. But yeah, it's an okay car. It's a very interesting looking car, and technically it's a very interesting car, and they've obviously put a lot of effort in. It's just a matter of, do you find electric cars particularly appealing? And if you do, great, buy it. If you don't, then yeah. Trouble is you can't actually just try it and go, I'd like my money back, which is a bit of a pain. I think you can actually get your money back now from them, but it's not like try it out in Race Room or anything where you can just try anything, because the electric, there's 3 or 4 electric cars now in Race Room. You've got the ID Volkswagen thing, Supra and the Mustang, is it? I think that's the only 3. So yeah, you could, I mean, in there you can just try them out and see what they go. But like I said, my problem with this sort of thing is you just don't, I have to drive them a lot, and it gets to the point of going, right, I've got to brake here, I've got to spot a marker which point I'm going, I've got to turn in by that point, and which you're meant to be doing anyway, but it's not as natural to me to drive as a normal sort of internal combustion engine car where I get a nice sound, and that's part of the joy of driving it, whereas this is just, my tinnitus is not enjoying it, shall we say. So your mileage may vary, but it's another good addition. It's a nicely presented car. It's a nice, it drives how you would probably expect it to drive. Okay, can maybe do a little bit more setup, and I can't work out what you're meant to do about the recovery. I thought you were meant to alter that, but I can't work out how to. So I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments if you find it. But yeah, interesting car and worth a look. So that'll do for me for now. Enjoy your driving, your racing, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Where's my bun?